Today we're going to do a little lathe project, and I'm going to build some hinges for a gate that I'm going to build for the ranch property. This is 1.25 inch, 1.3/8 OD steel that was used to using an old building that was used to pull the walls together. You know, you'd put a turnbuckle in these things and you'd star plates, bearing plates on the outside, and you pull the building back square, you pull it back together. I salvaged these years ago. I've done quite a few fun projects with them. The ID on this pipe is about 1 inch, smudge less. The OD on this, like I said, is like 1.3/8 inch, 1.25, somewhere around there. My thinking is I'm going to turn the threads off of this, and then there should be enough meat for me to turn a shoulder that I can make a pin and receiver end here. Yeah, I could go to Northern Tool and buy hinges, but it's fun. Working on the lathe is fun, and yeah, so what? This is 24 inches, so I'm thinking I'm going to cut it in half. So 6 inches will be the turn down part that'll fit inside of here, so there'll be two 12-inch hinges. It'll all make sense later this year when I show you how I'm going to build the gate, but right now I'm just going to show you just some options on how you can build some pretty durable, heavy-duty gate hinges. Let's pick up this heavy-duty hinge construction, I guess, if you want to call it. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this, but let's pick this up several weeks later from where I left it off. You see there's some surface rust on the part that I'm turning. I don't remember if I had, let me sit there, if I had shown you this up close, but this is how this threaded rod came out. This is going to be the base that gets welded onto the baluster. This is the sleeve that's going to be welded onto the gate itself that I get built. We're going to have 2 of these. They slide on there with pretty decent clearance. It's not a tight fit because I want room for grease. My intention is I left about 3/4 of an inch between the top of the top of this peg. We'll just call this bottom piece the peg. And here I'm going to build I'm going to cut a press fit plug for this. It's going to look like a mushroom head. It's going to have a center hole drilled in it with a Zerk fitting on the top. That way well, there's not going to get any water in here, but if there is any water, it's going to shed, right? Because that has nowhere to go down here. And then I can force grease down the base piece here. Yeah. So let's get turning. I'm not really going to show you any video of the next one because I'm pretty sure at this point I've got mind-bogglingly boring video of me turning this one. So we'll come back when I've got the second pin completed and the second sleeve here cut and fit. This has all been squared off on the lathe. I'm pretty sure I have video footage of that. I'm not sure, but it gets a nice complete contact on both sides, which is good because when I build, I'm not sure why I labeled that pin, but when I build the little mushroom head here, we're going to tap that or press that in place. It's going to have a nice consistent contact to this sleeve. So I'm going to put my hearing protection in, and we'll be back when the other one's built. So here's what I'm going to leave it. This is how I'm going to leave the project. I wanted to show you just kind of my thinking and my thoughts on how to overcome building some heavy duty gate hinges that are going to hold up to not only the weight of the gate, but heat and cold and dirt and use, right? This is going to be this is relatively a normally traveled road for myself and for one of my neighbors. So yeah, the gate, these are 13.5 inches tall. The fit on this is close. It's close because I want it to still be able to fit grease down there and have a good smooth action. These little hats worked out well. It's a 22-degree angle. They are just slightly proud of the OD of this pipe, so it should shed water without any problem. And if you saw the hydraulic press, which is ironic, right? I'm sitting here beating on it with a hammer. Of course it goes in crooked because that's just the way I roll. And then it dawns on me that, oh yeah, you got this hydraulic press you dragged home a few months ago, and although I've used the hydraulic press, it's still not my go-to tool. And I'm not really sure why, because it's easy access, it's easy to get to, and it's nice. So, you know, I'm not very smart. So they pressed in there fine. The Zerk fittings or the grease fittings pressed in there quite nicely. These are not threaded. These are press fit. So a little tippy tap with the hammer there. Life is good. 13.5 inches. They're going to handle. The gate itself is going to be roughly 32 inches. It's going to sit off the ground a bit so the snow doesn't lock us in there in the winter time. My thinking, and I thought a couple different ways on this. I got a piece of metal in my shirt. ADD, attractive. Squirrels, shiny objects. I'm thinking if I weld this here to the base, then this bar, because I need standoffs, right? You have to be able to stand these off from not only the fixed baluster, but the gate, the swing of the gate itself. So if we do that to that, and these are 1/4 inch thick bumper mount brackets. I have these in my inventory. They were powder coated, but see, they have a little bit of something growing underneath the powder coat, so I'll burn that off. And then I'm going to weld this to this piece, and then I might actually bolt this to, I don't know yet. I'm not exactly sure until I get up there, but I certainly could bolt the gate to this, and then it gives me some ability to adjust the gate, top and bottom. So 1/4 inch steel. This is like an inch and 1/4, inch and 3/8 OD. This is all pretty heavy duty, which is exactly the way I want it. Be able to shove some grease in here. Yeah, life's good. So that's how it's going to go up, and later this year, when I get to building that gate, you will see these parts again, and we'll go from there. Alright, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Alright, gotta go, gotta run. See ya!